few words and open it up for questions, because sometimes I may not say what, what you're interested in. One of the things, last night we had a get together, and, a lot of people that hadn't seen each other in years, and it was really a lot of fun. And Melinda and I were driving in this morning, and I said, of all the stories that I heard, I didn't hear one guy say, how many points I got in the game, how many shots I didn't get, or, I didn't get enough minutes. Last night it was all about relationships and stories, and all I did basically is go to this 5 guys or 4 guys over here someplace, and just stand there and listen to hear stuff that I didn't even know went on. But from a basketball standpoint, we'd come off of a team that had gone to the Final Four of the NIT, and we lost 2 players, 2 starters, Marbury and Dominic. And a lot of people thought after the fact, after we had done well, that one of the reasons was that Dominic wasn't with us, and everybody had a chance to get, come together. But I'll say this about Dominic, to my knowledge, they all liked each other, for the most part. And we felt like maybe if we'd had Dominic, we might have won it all, but we had a good foundation coming back. We ended up starting 2 seniors, maybe 3, probably. It's kind of an inside story. Vern asked last night, Vern said, I was a senior. I thought 2 things, either one, he graduated in 3 years, or 2, he was a 5-year guy. But anyway, Terry Fair and Lamar were seniors, and James and Vern were juniors, and Crosby was a sophomore. And then we had a couple of freshmen, McMillan and Hartree, and a sophomore core, and another senior, Floyd, and that pretty much took care of our rotation. And we didn't have a whole lot of size, but we were pretty good. I mean, and particularly as a team, we won a lot of games early. We got into January, we won games, and for whatever reason, whether it was coaching or playing or both, we flattened out in February. But the last game of the season, we beat Tennessee double digits, whatever, and we're going into the tournament. And everything came together defensively. You look at those scores, and they were down in the 50s to 60s and the low 70s. And we beat Ole Miss first, and I'll just say 14 points, and then we beat, I think, Tennessee like 19, and then Alabama 13, and then that took us into the first round, because back then we didn't have 68 teams, and I really don't remember exactly how many. It was enough that we got in, because we won the SEC championship for the first time. And we played VCU, and that was a really close game. I mean, I might have been tied at half, and we won by 2, or we were up 2 and tied in the second half. And I think James shot the ball. Weren't you the one that shot the ball that everybody accused her of tipping in?
It was a tip in.
No, it wasn't a tip in, because it was on the rim, you can't tell anybody, it was a tip in
All right. You remember better than I do. For sure.
Then we were getting ready to go to Syracuse for the East, and we got snowed in and snowed out up in Athens, and we had to come all the way down here to Macon to fly out on a 2-engine plane to get all the way up to Syracuse. And we got up there, and they were being nice to us because Ohio State was there, we were there, University of Georgia was there, Carolina was there, and St. John's. And St. John's was seeded 1, and Carolina 2, Ohio State 3, we were 4 seed. And it was just, we were gonna go through the motions, and that was setting up the finals between Carolina and St. John's. And we played St. John's, and it was a tough game. And somebody that played really well for us in that particular game was Terry Fair. He's not with us. Terry and Lamar and Troy Hitchcock, who was, like 7'1" or something, weighed 190. But he played great. They had Whittington, and how tall was he, Vern? You remember?
What did you say, about 7 foot?
Yeah, and their shooter, James.
Chris
Mullen.
Yeah, Chris Mullen. And they were good. In fact, they'd been on Sports, front of Sports Illustrated, Beast of the East. And we played them until Fair got 26 points and 9 boards. Or it might have been 27 points, but, he played a great game, and our other guys played well too, so we won. And now we were getting ready to go in and play North Carolina. North Carolina had Perkins, who I think was the first round pick, and Daugherty, who was a 7-footer, and then they had another Daugherty, spelled his name differently, but he was 6'8", and they had Braddock at the point guard, and Michael Jordan was the other guard. And so they were pretty good. But we were better than they were in that particular game. And one of the things that I like to talk about, and I talk about it all the time, was that in Terry Fair, he played an outstanding game against St. John's. He's not unlike probably 99% of players then and today. Everybody is interested in doing what? Going to the next level. So you figure, here's a guy going against a 7-footer, has an outstanding game, good defensively, comes into this particular game, got 11 points in the first half, but he picked up 3 fouls. And in the second half, he picked up his 4th foul. And so we put Richard Corn in, who was a sophomore. And he played really well. And he ended up, I think, was 7, was playing doing a great job. And I never put Terry Fair back in. Now put yourself in his shoes. You want to go to the next level. You're playing well. And you're sitting over there. You got another foul, but you can go in and play. But I didn't put him in. Richard played 18 minutes in his second half. We were up, I think, 15 with 5 to go, and we let them get back in, and they made a free throw or something. We ended up winning by 5. But stop and think about a guy who had 26 and 9 against a 7-footer, the number 1 seed, going against the number 2 seed, and they got 7 feet, 6'8", 6'9", in the front line, and he had 11 points in the first, and he never complained, or I would probably say bitched. He never complained about was as unusual of a person that, you know, you could coach, because it wasn't about me. It was about him being thrilled about, you know, Perkins said he didn't even know what conference we were in, and Fair answered it for him, the SEC. And then James, the game gets started and they zone us, and James comes in, he doesn't come in because he started, and he probably hit, I don't know, I know he hit 7 out of 10 for the game, but he probably hit 3 or 4 in the early part, because he took them out of their zone. And when they had to go man, guys like Vern, you know, and he able to use his ability, and he ends up with 16 or 18 points, and we end up winning that particular game. Now, another thing to brag on Lamar Hurd, Terry Fair was maybe supposed to be one of our most physical players.
Mm-hmm.
He led us in rebounds for the year. I think it was like 236, 237, I'm not sure. I mean, somebody that's in here, stats can, but it's close. I mean, I might be off one. But Lamar Hurd was a stick, you know, but a heck of a player. But let's say Fair had 237 rebounds, Lamar Hurd had 236.
Mm-hmm.
And he kind of held us together, because he played a high post position. James tried to play a little bit when he was a freshman, but you know, the high post man got the ball a lot, but he was supposed to distribute it. And James would get in the high post, and somebody would step in, and if James didn't hit him, I'd say, James, what the hell did you throw me out the ball? I didn't think he was open, coach. So he put it airborne. He came to me, he says, Coach, can I play over there where they get the shoot? Crosby dominated the game from the point position. Was he you know, if you go out and match us up, you know, Hurd did a heck of a job on Perkins, held him 2 in the first half. Perkins, first round, I think he was the first round draft, you know, and